This is a video I intend to update you on the latest incidents. 3 members have been gunned down last night and they all come from well-known sets on the south side. Before I start the video, I also want to tell you a little bit about Scene's official news, and that is that I have launched a public profile on Snapchat where I'm going to be dropping live updates directly from the Chicago drill scene as they happen. Expect updates on everything from arrests and investigations to deaths and deep dives into gang history. I'll also be posting rare photos and exclusive intel you won't find anywhere else, coming straight from my sources inside the sets. You don't want to miss the intel I will post. CS88 Official is the name. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video and that it brings some clarity of what is going on. We'll start with the murder of the 2 Frontstreet members who were gunned down last night in 2 separate incidents. Initially, many believed that both of them had been murdered together, which is not true, as they were separate incidents in different locations in Chicago. Much of this confusion was caused by the fact that 2 people were actually murdered in one of the incidents. The 2 Frontstreet members who were murdered are named Thang and Rusky, or Buddha. We'll start with Thang. The shooting took place 11:21 p.m. in the 7800 block of South Calumet Avenue. Police said Thang was outside with one other man when they were approached by 5 male suspects. The group ran up to Thang and the other man opened fire. Both got hit. At the moment, it is not known how many of the suspects were armed or fired shots. Thang, who was 37 years old, was shot in the chest and pronounced dead at the scene, police said. His friend, a 44-year-old man named Rello, was shot multiple times and was transported to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. The suspects fled on foot towards 79th Street. Police do not have anyone in custody at the moment. To my knowledge, Rello was not Frontstreet and I don't really know what he was, but a few members from Madville have posted him. The second incident that occurred, which involved the death of Rusky/Buddha from Frontstreet, occurred around 6:53 p.m. in the Greater Grand Crossing Tuesday evening. Rusky, whose real name was Anthony Robinson, was inside a residence in the 7400 block of South Rhodes Avenue when he was shot in the head, police and the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office said. He was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center where he later died. It is unclear what exactly happened, but rumor has it that he was killed by a girl's baby daddy. Rusky was a big face within Frontstreet. He used to be Blood Money's right-hand man and was close with Frito, Chief Keef, Dresky, Gino Marley, Caper and many others. He has also been around for a very long time and is one of the original members from Frontstreet. Despite the fact that this was most likely a non-enemy related killing, given the location and rumors, this was still a huge loss for Frontstreet. Like I said earlier, we first believed that they were killed at the same time. Even members of Frontstreet initially believed that Thang and Rusky had been murdered together. It wasn't until later that the media came out that there were 2 separate incidents that had taken place. Block's youngins have celebrated the deaths of Rusky and Thang heavily on social media. Some uploaded group photos on Instagram while others posted Cap 2 Hot, who was killed in May 2022 by 400E Johnny Dang and 3 other shooters. Some now claim that Frontstreet also was present at the murder or at least had some other involvement, dropping his location for example. Now we have to backtrack a few steps, because many people don't actually know that Frontstreet and a block are at war with each other. Not the regular internal beef between a few members from allied sets, but full-on war. I just thought I'd quickly go through the background to all this, why 2 sets, who were once in time very close with each other, are now killing each other instead. First of all, I have to make it clear that this is mainly about the new generation of members, because O Block today is much more isolated than it used to be. Since they live inside the gates, they mostly keep to themselves and don't really show loyalty to any other set outside of O Block, or more specifically TSG/Jaro Jump Out Boys. The older generation from both Frontstreet and O Block still have love for each other and usually stay out of the beef. But that changed a little after Munaduke and Youngin were killed, murders that many people suspect Frontstreet was behind. And even if they weren't, the heavy trolling on Instagram afterward didn't sit right with O Block at all. Another thing that must be said is that since 2010, and even earlier than that, there have been tensions between members from Frontstreet and O Block. However, there have only been isolated cases, but there have been shootings back in the days but which have been kept internal and quickly toned down or have been completely shut down. What is also interesting is that 600 most often takes Frontstreet's side in conflicts that arise with O Block, and they have done so now, at least many of the younger members. This is of course because 600 and Frontstreet share a deep bond with each other due to them being on the same block, and that many from 600's famous generation originated from Frontstreet. Many even claim that Frontstreet, 600 and Nico Gang are basically the same thing, even today. Both gangs also know what it is like to live outside the gates and have had to protect each other all the time, unlike O Block, who is safe behind the wall. Over time, but especially recently, Frontstreet but also 600 have had problems with the new generation from Parkway Gardens. However, this is not a new phenomenon as many have thought. O Block has always stuck with each other and did not like outsiders. The only exception is really the years 2011 to 2014 and during the Get Back Gang era, where certain top members have been very close with each other. However, Frontstreet and the Weak have never really been that close with each other, except maybe the rappers who have collaborated with one another. 600 has always been a link between O Block and Frontstreet. There have always been tensions, but there have always been other things to focus on, such as the war with STL/EBT, Jaro City, Mob, 051, Taekwon World and others. It is only now, when the city is moving steadily towards free-for-all, that the conflict has erupted. Anyway, the war that is currently underway between Frontstreet and O Block, or rather TSG, stems from a lot of different things. First of all, the rumor that O Block, specifically King Von, murdered Keef's cousin Blood Money from Frontstreet caused friction because nobody really knew about it before 2020. I heard it first in 2021 from a resident inside Parkway Gardens but didn't believe it and therefore chose not to publish it. However, eventually, 1 or 2 years later, the rumor reached the internet anyway and really took off. Now, I don't know if the rumor is true or not, but both Vaughn and Boss Top have hinted about O Block killing somebody's cousin by saying, and rapping, "And my homie think I killed his cousin, well, oh well." Despite several denials from members that O Block was involved, including Blood Money's friend who got shot during the altercation, the rumor has continued to be used as a taunt against Frontstreet, whether true or not. What we do know is that Lil Blood Money's son, doesn't like O Block because of the rumor of Parkway's alleged involvement in his father's death. However, Lil Blood also had a conflict with Jado and Zell from Parkway, now both deceased, over a girl, which caused the youngins to start beefing with each other. At least partly that was the reason. And with Lil Blood being who he was, made everyone pick his side. Another big reason why Frontstreet and a block, maybe the biggest of them all, are at war is because of the situation with Man and Rage from a block. Man snitched on Rage, which landed Rage in prison for allegedly killing a little girl. However, many claim that he is innocent. Man was kicked off O Block, but Frontstreet took him in and protected him, which caused a conflict between the younger generation from a block, Jado Jump Out Boys, and Frontstreet. This led to J Job sliding on Frontstreet and shot a respected older member from Frontstreet, which left him paralyzed. A series of different incidents then followed. One, he took Lil Sosa's gun while he was sleeping. Lil Sosa is the little brother of Mikado from 600. Rumors say that O Block was involved in the murder of AJ from Frontstreet in 2023. Then a series of different rumors follow. For example, Frontstreet shot Big 13 times, which he survived. It is also rumored that they slid on a block party on O Block where Boss Top was one of the people shot. And then, of course, the rumor that got the most attention, that Frontstreet/Nico gang allegedly killed Munaduke and Youngin from O Block in May 2025. Whether that's true or not is very hard to know. Honestly, I doubt it, but I do think that they are cool with the ones that actually did it. Several other incidents have occurred between Frontstreet and O Block. However, it is very difficult to figure out who did what because much of this is very unknown. So there is a chance that it was O Block who was behind the murder of Thang from Frontstreet and his friend Rello. Immediately after the murder, O Block started posting pictures of Too Hot as well as group pictures. However, this is far too early to say. It has actually been pretty quiet on social media despite the double murder of the Frontstreet members. I will be doing a gang video on Frontstreet soon where I will update you on the situation. Now we move on to the third major incident that occurred Wednesday. Lil Mikey from Jaro City was gunned down in broad daylight in the patrol area of the University of Chicago Police Department. Police say that Mikey was in a car in the 6200 block of South Drexel Avenue when two men pulled up in a white Mercedes-Benz. An argument ensued, and one suspect pulled out a gun and opened fire, police said. The victim was struck in the chest and taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center in critical condition. He was later pronounced dead, authorities said. According to a man who witnessed the murder, he stated that Mikey was shot at least 8 to 9 times. Mikey was 29 years old. According to another witness who claimed to be at the scene, the shooting happened after Lil Mikey got into an argument with another man. The two were reportedly going back and forth when Lil Mikey allegedly turned as if he was about to walk to his car. At that moment, the other man pulled out a gun and opened fire, hitting him multiple times. The witness said Lil Mikey was shot at least 8 or 9 times, and that the shooter even stood over him before fleeing the scene in a white car. Paramedics were seen pumping on his chest and putting him on a gurney, but the situation already looked critical. What makes the killing stand out even more is that many people believe this was not a random street encounter or an ordinary argument. According to what was being said in the aftermath, Lil Mikey may have been backdoored and killed by someone he knew. That theory has spread because people close to the situation found it hard to believe that someone with Lil Mikey's background and street experience would casually argue with a random person at a known trouble spot without knowing exactly who he was dealing with. For many, the fact that he may have turned towards his car before being shot suggests the other person wasn't willing to risk what might happen next. Mikey had apparently been standing outside arguing with another man for several minutes. This wasn't described as some random encounter either. People close to the situation believed the two knew each other, and that the person he was arguing with was either his homie or at least someone from his own circle. One witness said Lil Mikey and the other guy were going back and forth for a while before things suddenly escalated. During the argument, Mikey allegedly pump-faked and then turned like he was about to go to his car. That's when the other man reportedly pulled out a gun and started firing. According to the witness, Lil Mikey was hit at least 8 or 9 times, possibly even more. The shooter didn't just fire and run either. He allegedly stood over Mikey and kept shooting before fleeing the scene in a white car. Paramedics were later seen pumping on Mikey's chest and trying to save him, but witnesses said he looked lifeless and wasn't moving much by the time they got him on the gurney. What makes this situation hit even harder is the story behind Lil Mikey. According to people who knew him, he had just come home after doing 13 years in prison, and many say he basically did the time over a situation that wasn't even fully his. It's been said that he took the weight in a case tied to a robbery, got caught with the jacket, and ended up sitting down for over a decade. During that time, he reportedly felt some type of way because certain people he went down for didn't really look out for him the way they should have. Even so, he still held it down and did his time. After coming home, Lil Mikey was said to be trying to re-establish himself and remind people who he was. He came home with that old school mentality, trying to show that he was still a face and still somebody that mattered. But the streets had changed while he was gone. The rules are different now. Reputation doesn't carry the same weight it used to, and the younger generation doesn't always care what you did 10 or 15 years ago. That's part of why so many people feel this situation ended the way it did. Mikey may have still been moving like the old days, but the people around him were moving like 2026, also known as backdoor times or free for all. Basically every set is EBK these days. They just don't care at all and will go to war with anyone and everyone. Mikey was a very beloved member from Jaro City. He was one of the originals. However, you can't really say that he's gone through the war since he was locked up for 13 years, which means that he missed basically everything. Still, he got a lot of love from other older members and some of the youngins. After the murder, many members uploaded posts that alluded that it was a backdoor. One of the members was Lil Cho from Taekwon World, Mikey's god brother. Billionaire Black, Lil G and others uploaded posts paying homage to Mikey. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay safe, and may God bless you all. Let me know what you want to see next.